It's been 10 long days. 10 long days since the Cannonball and the Cannon last graced you all with voice acting. But tonight, the drought comes to an end. And now, live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, it's your boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. What is up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means.
No, it doesn't mean AEW Dynamite. It means voice acting. He and I are back on the block, baby.
That's right. You know, we've taken a bit of a hit with our schedule since the holidays. Things have been kind of crazy around here at the Steel Twins recording studio. But that doesn't mean we haven't been pumping out content. No. Package over here has done a judicious job with Nostalgic Mondays, and I believe that is his brainchild right now. So
that is my flagship show, even as we speak.
Yep. And then the flagship show of all flagship shows, voice acting, is back. We are ready to go. We are hot on the trail of a killer. I guess we're trying to catch up to him. So I took a look at the last video that Andrew made on his own, and I got caught up on most of the story. So we're following a young Miles Edgeworth as he just about starts his prosecutorial debut, when all of a sudden. Or not, right? When all of a sudden, the defendant and the prosecutor that he has accused of being the Yatagarasu, they're both dead. And apparently the prosecutor that's been charged as the Yatagarasu is a man called Faraday. Faraday. Where have I heard that name before?
Well, according to most people and according to my episode, it appears that he had a daughter, Kay.
Yep, Kay Faraday is the kid that we saw in the kidnapped turnabout last, in the case previous, and we turned back the clock about 7 years. So this is how, she's basically saying, okay, hey, you don't know who I am. Well, and now we're getting a full case of what that was about. So we're hoping to clean that case out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to waste any more time. I think it's time for our second favorite part of the show. As you can see, we have our bangs. We have them primed and ready and packaged. May I lead the charge here?
Please, if you will.
If you have a capped here bottle or a pin on your can, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off. Go ahead and say it, package. With a what are we doing with the cap?
Hey, Cannonball, what time is it?
Well, you forgot the twisty twist deal.
With the twisty twist twist.
Sorry about that.
There it is. Hey, package. What time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Holy smokes.
Now that hit the spot.
It did. You know what? I'm actually real fired up about this. I'm more fired up about this than I thought I ever would be. Live scene.
I'm glad you are, man, because I'm ready to go too. Let's do this.
Yeah, you know what? I was like, is there any passion left? Nah, we're ready. We're ready.
You can't kill the passion. You can't kill the passion that we've had for 3 long years.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's right. We're coming up on year 3 on this channel, and and there's so much more. There's so much more on the horizon.
Year 4, year 5, maybe? Because
maybe.
We've been doing this since 2000.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it was pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
No.
Well, it doesn't matter, really, because at the end of the day, I think we're here to uncover the truth behind the KG8 incident. Intrigue. It is
Dun, dun, dun.
It is the thrilling conclusion to Turnabout Reminiscence.
Shut up, clock in, and load up.
Okay.
Now, those in the chat who are going to join the chat, can you hear the stream? Can you hear us? I know you can hear us.
Yep.
September 10th, 5:45 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1.
Well, who's that scruffy-looking bastard in the back? Well, we'll find out here in a minute.
What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent?
It smells like flowers.
Uncle Bad, is this it?
Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there?
It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff.
No, that's not quite it.
Oh, not too bad, but it's so pretty.
I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it.
Thanks. I'll treasure it always.
Those two seem to get along rather well.
Oh, here, I've got something else for you.
Yay! Thank you, Uncle Bad.
Courthouse special Swiss rolls. Damn. So even Capcom knows how awesome Swiss cake rolls are.
Damn right, son.
Little Debbie should sue for Little Debbie should sue for gimmick infringement. Anyway.
Earlier, I ate one of these with gummy.
Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe.
Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me.
Oh, that's what's going on.
Goody.
Hey, don't choke on that, kid.
I know he didn't kill Daddy.
Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying.
I'm not crying.
Kay.
Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady, too.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being?
Now give me 2 seconds. I would like to... Yeah, there's a screen blocking my brother's head there, so I apologize for that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No. I moved it. So...
There we go.
You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do.
Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant.
So is that where she gets the idea to be Edgeworth's assistant?
You know what? Probably is.
So I'm related to the investigation.
Is that so, Detective Bad?
Yeah, I guess.
Was? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why?
People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Ms. Yu is looking into.
Uncle Bad, I'm gonna look somewhere else now, okay?
All right, I'm counting on you.
Oh, that's right. Hey, mister.
Yes, what is it?
I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay?
I won't forgive whoever did this, But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe.
Just gotta look for it, brother.
She wandered off while I was pondering. Okay, talk to him.
Oh.
Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for?
Nothing that concerns you, boy.
Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay?
It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste.
It sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again.
I don't have anything to say to you.
Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating in this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate.
It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell's still here.
Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume?
Well, I mean, shit, yeah. I mean, isn't that what she was holding in her hands before? Anyway.
I don't know. No, she was holding a mirror.
Oh.
Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap, no-name brand.
She said it's a famous brand from overseas.
It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff.
No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles onto me. Here, little girl, you can have it.
I was bought for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Mount Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail.
Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? This used perfume data jotted down in my organizer. Perfume given to Bad by you. Same perfume as the one spilled in lobby number 1. So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic.
Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating.
Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. All right, during recess. So, you were in this courtroom the entire recess?
Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here.
At least your story is consistent.
Earlier, you stated that you were in this lobby with Ms. Yu.
Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations?
Guess I am.
Interesting.
Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you.
Let's see. Ms. Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG-8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case.
You knew?
I also know that today's trial involving the Cadofian embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG-8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Ms. Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG-8 incident.
If you already know that much, I guess it'd be all right to tell you.
KG-8 incident. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8 incident.
It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who are directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. Oh boy. The honest truth behind the KG-8 incident.
Huh.
Faraday, you, and I, as you already know, we three were involved with the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring.
You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries?
That trial was just a front.
A facade?
Ooh, damn. This is starting to get weird. Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
Then what became of the secretary who was arrested?
His name was Colin Deveray. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Deveray was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat.
The boss man of the Amano Group? He can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
So his hands are dirtier than even we thought. We knew he was sus in episode 2, but holy shit. Anyway.
Oh, shit. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do? Suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling.
I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go?
If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both.
Ms. Yu did mention that as well. About how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister.
But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap.
What kind of a trap?
The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap.
You mean you were fired upon?
You were shot at that many times in one gunfight?
No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident.
So wait a minute. Trap? Who trapped him? Cece and Faraday or somebody else?
I see.
I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We'd hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu.
Relation to you. About when you first met Ms. Yu. It was on the day the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not?
Yes, Faraday and we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face.
Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough.
I suppose not. You said it herself, that she never wanted to see either of us ever again.
But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct?
Yeah, Faraday and even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring.
Is the ring really that big?
Depends on what jewelry store you buy it from.
Hold on a sec. Sorry, had to do that.
That was clutch. I appreciate that. It was in pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney.
Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them?
Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason.
Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect.
I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, all right?
And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer?
Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to.
It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable.
You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are.
How dare you insult the daughter of Van Karma!
Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all.
The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it. Only the skill of the craftsman.
You two are still too young. But one day, you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all.
Relation to Faraday.
All right.
So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well.
I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and we cracked quite a few cases together.
But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case.
Did we touch a nerve?
I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either.
I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. Yatagarasu. Excuse me. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me?
What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel.
I agree, which is exactly why I am asking you about the Yatagarasu.
What?
The KG-8 incident and this second KG-8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the Great Thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu, however, in the middle of the trial. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd?
How's Edgeworth? Stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already!
I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time.
A reason? Huh.
And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu.
If it'll help you solve this case,
Outburst.
then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu.
What was that sudden outburst for? What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident! Yeah!
No! It still accidentally whipped me anyway!
There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever.
Remember that? I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits.
Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief.
The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention. Let me try that again. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder.
I'm not seeing anything. Your part of the screen is frozen.
It is? Hold on. Let me try something. Let me see.
Okay.
Does it? Is it
Okay. That's better. I can see the screen anyway.
Oh, I probably just needed I probably needed to focus back on it. Sorry about that. So.
No worries.
Okay, I'll start all over again. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away.
But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't.
Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kadofian embassy, the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu sent the evidence?
Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I and a select few others knew about.
In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it?
That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure.
Just what sort of card is it?
Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
And that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes?
His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir.
Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you?
Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive.
I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. And to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. You listen to that Kay thing, right?
Yep, well, it's there.
September 10th, District Court, courtroom number 3. Listen to that music again.
Yep.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. It appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony.
Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict.
Francisca, there's no need to further depress His Honor.
But I'm not trying to, Miles.
Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence... Your Honor! Oh, you! Yes, can I help you?
Damn, he was zoning out there for a second.
Yeah. I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir.
Your Honor? Do you think you could stay focused long enough to at least do your job?
Yes, I'm sorry. And I would, except that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation. So let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those 2 men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. And maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Go get it. So this is the evidence related to today's Cadofian Embassy trial for Mr. Faraday's bag.
You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in the lobby number 2, right?
Yes, finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time.
Agreed. I want to take a quick look at all of the evidence from the Embassy murder too.
And why is that?
Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about.
Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something.
And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today.
I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma.
It's also real to see the knife up close.
So, we have the knife, the gun, an envelope, and what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it to be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that?
What a strange stroke of luck.
Well, never looked a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it too. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Haha, there's that line.
Okay, so let's look at the knife.
Yep. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday.
Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act?
And it's never crossed your mind that you use your riding crop for the wrong purpose?
Okay, next the gun.
This gun, it was originally used to kill the Cadofian Embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest.
And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic.
Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. And the organizer.
Yep.
Mr. Faraday's organizer, it appears he was in the habit of using it.
It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here.
I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one.
It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case.
The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell is not the real Yatagarasu.
And it would also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu.
No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up.
And he apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence.
It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end.
Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have made about being the real Yatagarasu.
And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder.
This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Mr. Faraday's organizer data jotted down in my organizer. Faraday wrote his strategy for winning in here.
Yes, I wonder how much more stuff is in there.
Look, there's a picture stuck between these pages here.
That's the key. I thought that the key was stuck in Kay's hair in the earlier episode. But
it's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end.
I already read that, but still.
I see. It appears to be a key.
And a rather ornate one is that. Just look at the design on the handle.
The craftsmanship is superb.
Yeah, so this was the evidence the Yatagarasu sent, supposedly. Anyway.
But look at the grooves. It looks like a knife, too, doesn't it?
Uh-huh, yep.
Could this be the Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer?
The Yatagarasu's key?
Detective Bad said something earlier.
What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadofian embassy, the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu sent the evidence?
I'm Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I and a select few others knew about.
Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep the secret key safe. The secret key safe.
As a prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. Yatagarasu's key data jotted down in my organizer. A photo of the key the Yatagarasu sent. It has a rather unusual shape.
It does kind of look like a pocket knife. You know,
That's odd.
What is it?
Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer.
Hey, look at the handle on that shit.
No.
Wait. It's not exactly the same because there aren't the same grooves, but it kind of looks like the same wood. Or, what if that the key and the knife are two separate pieces to one whole object?
Well, now.
Interesting. And what would
Intrigue.
what would it do, honestly? Anyway.
That certainly is odd.
The weapon that was used to kill the Kadofian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from?
Oh, isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Hell. So that's the only logical conclusion, right?
No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here.
The Yatagarasu sent the whole key, right? So, Anyway.
Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside.
In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse?
I need to think carefully here. There is nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. What the hell? What's going on here?
Did the screen freeze again?
Yeah. Let's
Hold on. Let's see. All right, is it any better now?
No, still not doing it. Currently reduced video or audio quality. This may be due to network conditions.
Oh, that's great. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can stream quality.
It's back.
No, all right. So hold on a second. Now I gotta change these windows around. Oh, cool. All right.
Conversely, there's one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. Now it's delayed.
Oh, God. All right, give me a second here. I'm going to change this to 30 FPS and 720p.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, ready.
So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca.
Was? So what is it? Was ist das?
One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. The key, maybe?
Yep.
Take that!
This Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse.
You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth.
You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything?
They do remind me of the knife.
Very good. Both the Yatagarasu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife.
You don't seriously mean to say?
It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same.
Aha, so we cracked it.
But that's impossible!
Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail. Oh God, look at this. It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have beautiful designs worked into them.
Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in this gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself.
She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give. Look at the bloodstains. No, not that. Look at the design.
All right, so
Yeah, it's on the design. No. I mean,
On
put the cursor on the design and talk about it.
which
More,
design?
a little bit more. Try flattening the knife a little bit.
Oh, like going like this.
Point the cursor. Yeah, point the cursor at that. Yeah. Oh.
I can't believe it turned into a key. Things of such a treacherous thing.
So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagarasu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Yatagarasu's key data updated in my organizer. A photo of key the Yatagarasu sent. It turns into a knife.
Frankly, I'm shocked.
Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside.
Or he did. Intrigue.
Dun dun
I
dun.
mean, it's an idea. We got to pursue it.
But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday.
Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The Great Thief Yatagarasu.
Then maybe Mr. Rel really was the Yatagarasu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario?
No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier,
But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else. And that person is the real Yatagarasu.
it seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. Knife data updated in my organizer. Weapon used to kill Faraday has secret ability to change into key the Yatagarasu sent.
And we still
Now
haven't
the
gotten into the dossier.
I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started.
Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it.
I suppose I should explain it to you then.
Yes, yeah, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please.
On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Matt Grell was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
Is it starting to get choppy? I'll keep going.
A simpleton of man, that's what he was.
A little bit choppy, but not too bad. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rell was caught in the act on film by a security camera.
He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera.
The Cadofian Embassy security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area.
So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself?
Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear.
So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither. You and me both, Jack. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court.
The surveillance video? How could the piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rell committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence.
Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
What? No, I dare not neglect my duties. What do you take me for?
Hard of hearing, are we?
Gotcha. No, Your Honor. The most important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene.
So maybe it was taken out.
Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene.
There is a TV with a VCR in it.
Oh, check there. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime. Defendant lobby number 2.
So we're going.
What are we waiting for?
Charge! Well, guess who it is? Old Sabretooth himself.
September 10th, 6 p.m., District Court, defendant lobby number 2.
My vocal cords are about to get a workout.
Yep. That's Detective Bad, but who is he with?
I've never seen that officer before.
So, did you find it? No, not yet, and I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
How dare you? Just who do you think you are? What was that all about? And who was that man just now?
Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life.
Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him?
I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids?
Huh?
It looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head.
Ah, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now?
The guy came here from the Republic of Shangfa to study. He's Agent Lang.
Bingo.
He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch.
By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication.
He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude.
Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to.
You don't say.
Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you.
I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine. If this is a game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. All right.
I'm gonna look at the TV.
That is one tiny TV.
Detective Gumshoe was rather shocked at this and said it is huge compared to his own.
Anything can compare with something he owns will always seem grandiose.
Speaking of grandiose, I'd say that ego of yours could use a little deflating. Okay, that's nothing there. Okay, so let's talk to him. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad.
Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say.
I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct?
I don't have anything left to say to you, boy.
Boy, you'll see. I will draw my answer from you one way or another.
Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation?
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think?
Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation.
Don't push me, kid.
Time of the murder. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around the here at the time of the crime.
I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about? But aren't you supposed to know everything?
Well, they're supposed to, but...
He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. Oh, I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad.
All right, so
Present that key.
Yep.
I turned into a knife. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph?
Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case.
In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same?
What? That's impossible.
It looks like he didn't know after all.
This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rell was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct?
I guess so.
However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife.
Yeah, I have to admit, Neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this?
I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for?
Yeah, that's right.
And why were you searching for it?
Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life?
Detective Bad, so that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more.
All right, but it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change.
Okay,
Time of the
time to
murder.
murder. Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1.
My answer is still the same, and this is the last time I'm gonna do this.
That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. And find the truth behind this case.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Detective
Bad's
Bad's
movements.
I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. What trivial things? I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2.
It sounds like the exact same story he told us before.
Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. All right, press him on that gunshot thing.
Okay, I was gonna press him on that other one too. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. What? I want to press him on this. What trivial things?
Hold it. I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu.
Trivial stuff. There's nothing important.
That's for me to decide. All right, I suppose it's for him to decide. Moving on then.
I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene.
Hold it. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary?
I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now.
Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
Oh yeah?
So-
what about another sound, huh?
All right,
Like
let me.
a balloon popping?
It could be. Yeah, this
Or
balloon
the
piece.
or is it the perfume?
Oh, it could have been it could have been a perfume. Nope, we're still going. Oh, we were just there.
Here are the okay.
I was right.
Objection. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything?
It's the same color as the one Kay was holding.
Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon?
Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her.
Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon.
So, what about the balloon?
I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point.
What are you getting at?
This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2.
He didn't hear a gunshot. He heard a balloon pop. Oh boy.
Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot.
Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene.
Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at the time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well.
So?
Ooh, don't give me a so.
We just proved that there was a flaw in your testimony.
The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking.
Nivette.
And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked.
Hold it.
Moment mal. Was? What is that supposed to mean?
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material.
Then you mean...
Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
9.
I knew that's what he was going to say.
Then why did you present the evidence? Hang on.
Since that means that Squaw's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle.
No!
That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around.
The other way around?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine this situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot?
What do you mean, how? I just did.
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words.
Oh, how so?
If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears?
I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I'd thought.
Which means, what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have.
It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh?
Huh? The state of the crime scene? Wait, can it be?
It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it.
Window in lobby number 1 was open to allow the perfume you spilled to dissipate.
Hey, wait a minute.
There's got to be a connection here.
Was the window open at the time of the crime?
Yeah, it had to have been.
Oh. Okay. Wow. And way too noisy.
Lobby number 2's television. Looks like it was set to an incredibly high volume.
Well, yeah, no shit. I mean, that's probably how the killer tried to mask the sound of a gunshot.
Right.
The surveillance video? How could the piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
Where did the surveillance tape from Mr. Faraday's bag disappear off to? Oh, connect the dots.
Yep.
All right, time for some logic. Lobby 2 number window, dissipating the smell.
Yep, I know. Yep, that's the first thing.
simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. And yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. The criminal couldn't have made it through, but what about incorporeal things?
Like a bullet?
Oh.
If you stick the gun inside the bars, you can get somebody.
Ooh.
Very loud
Okay,
television, missing evidence. Oh.
Nope. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. Okay, try open windows. Very loud television.
Yep, that could be it.
Now then, what else besides smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Windows were open. Missing evidence, gunshot could be heard. See?
Yep.
That's where it originated from. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place.
Miles, what have you been thinking about?
I told you I cracked the case of the missing tape. Go back to the TV and press the eject button.
Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again.
It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look.
And where would that be?
I believe we should examine the television.
The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Begin investigation. Defendant lobby
number 2. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
Crap.
Nothing unusual about this area. It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside.
It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end.
This tape, could it not be the missing surveillance tape?
Huh? I suppose, but...
Detective Bat, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video?
Sure, knock yourself out.
Alright, so let's rewind this and see what we have.
Remix.
If I remember correctly, the footage of Rell killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape.
Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see.
This is the footage of Mr. Rell shooting the embassy staff member.
I knew it! The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along! Surveillance video data jotted down on my organizer. Video of the embassy staff member's murder. The gunshot is especially memorable.
This sound. What's the meaning of this?
It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder.
Huh? Do you mean that you figured it all out then?
Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Yeah. Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced.
Now to show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was. and through where they heard it from. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Probably this.
If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser.
That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were.
However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Ms. Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot.
Phil, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it.
But then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place?
To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose.
Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this.
But why was it necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction.
Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of?
When the crime took place.
Gotta be.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's when the gunshot was heard, right? About 2 o'clock or something? But
Yeah.
if they were killed way before then...
The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes. And they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so.
So that's why the tape was left running.
You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video?
Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer.
Investigation complete.
Refill.
Stereo. Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, what is it?
Ms. Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something.
It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something.
I think she knows the jig is up and she's trying to cover her ass.
Oh yeah, you're going down, bitch. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over.
I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say.
It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. To be continued. How long has it been?
An hour and 19.
We must continue then. Conclude this case.
Ladder confrontation former Callisto U. So we still got some way to go.
Yeah.
So, September 10th, 6:15 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. As if we're going to trial.
Kay, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
But the object you're looking for is already...
Hold it. Kay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for?
If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought.
It's like we're going to court.
Yeah, buddy.
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we could finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you?
We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds.
Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why even Mr. Bad is here?
A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must, without a doubt, be Detective Gumshoe.
And that's all you have?
Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion and this case.
Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think?
How absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But all right, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
If my logic is correct, then I've already won.
How do I sound, by the way?
Not pretty good.
Okay,
Lovely.
good.
All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is. All right, here we go. Ms. Yu's argument.
Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve. Okay, time for rebuttal.
Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off.
Hold it! The suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven.
Are you joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you, this is no joke.
Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll.
Yes, that is correct.
But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking.
I see she's done her research well. Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding.
Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right?
Hold it. Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide.
Hell with it, I'm grilling her like a hamburger.
The scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe that it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe is standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect.
But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden?
one looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad?
Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden.
I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case.
I also confirmed there's no possible escape route from lobby number 2.
Hold it! Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape?
Of course I'm sure.
And why are you so certain?
This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense.
Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Yeah.
Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer.
Hold it! You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand?
But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing.
I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject.
Ah, but there were witnesses. For you, there is your mentor who gave you an alibi.
I see.
As for little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard.
I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else.
Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty?
What about them?
Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time?
What kind of idiot do you take me for? Doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception. That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime took place.
Objection! Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
The video. Take that! Take that!
That tape?
Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is a surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up.
You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard from the gunshot in the video...
Was from the gunshot. But I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot.
That's the only thing I can think of, too.
After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe.
Objection! Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right?
Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles?
Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit that we had no idea until only a little while ago.
That's right. And if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day.
And?
And that's it. End of story.
But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? The window was open.
Well, William Metcalf, thanks so much for following, brother.
Hey!
So,
How about that? Yeah.
So the window was open.
There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened.
Objection. It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the time.
Objection! It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is you, Callisto, you. Take that! Miss Callisto, you! I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Ralph!
Was?
You indict me?
Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer?
I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now?
Of course I do, Edgeworth.
My argument must not be tight enough yet.
Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right?
Okay,
here
round
we go.
2. Ms. Drew's rebuttal.
You argue that the window was open. However, do you have proof it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic as full of holes as yours.
Hey, I know exactly what that evidence is that she actually opened the window.
Well, the spilled perfume, obviously. Or it could be something else. All right.
This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. I probably should have had a few deep breaths there, but anyway, time for a rebuttal.
You argue that the window was open. However, do you have proof it was I who did that?
Oh, but I do, Miss Yu. It's this. Objection! I wouldn't have even used story mode. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu?
Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know.
This isn't mine!
That's right. It's mine. And I received it from Detective Bad, you see.
Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad.
And that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume?
While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad.
Oh, I know.
You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window.
Objection. Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
Objection! The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time.
You mean?
Ms. Yu, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1 when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought of by you, Ms. Yu.
You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday.
Would you care to testify as to why?
Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all.
Okay, here we go. Why it couldn't be me?
Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from.
I think you do.
I don't think she's right.
Miles, her testimony is flawless.
Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. She won't escape me. And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her.
Time to grill this bitch like a hamburger. Extra
Damn right.
crispy.
Yeah, baby.
Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top.
Hold it. I think I already explained the significance of that earlier.
You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume. But that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill? Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character.
Do as you like, but as for me, I believe.
You believe?
I believe that you are the true culprit in this case.
My, you're enthusiastic. Of course I should have guessed. but I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma.
Hold it. I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor.
Yeah, or they'll sue you for defamation.
All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although, your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire.
How dare you?
Say such a thing.
Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you.
Why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue? In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday.
Hold it. And why exactly could you not have killed him?
I was just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth.
Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand.
Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we?
Icebrook! Miss you would desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. Yeah. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy.
Sorry. Ms. Yu, please continue with your testimony.
Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from.
So, you know what? Something tells me I should present something, but I'm gonna let story mode take over from here. We're pressing her.
Hold it. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag.
Huh? Miles, what do you think you're doing?
I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing.
Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today.
Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use.
So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatagarasu had sent.
Gotcha, bitch.
And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on.
Huh?
Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest.
I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony.
Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you'd like. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key.
All together, everybody. 3, 2, 1.
Objection!
Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key the Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has the secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not?
Yes.
Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu key.
Objection! I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know.
You would even now still feign ignorance?
I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him.
Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor! Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor! Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real.
Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing?
Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement, and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, the something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was?
Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time.
He didn't know that either, you dumb bitch.
But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms.
Objection! What you are saying is simply not possible.
Oh? And why not?
Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife.
Objection! I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication?
Objection! Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information, even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know, why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition?
Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh?
How can you laugh at a time like this?
She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with.
I suppose you're right. Ms. Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife.
Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me?
Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth, the secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife? All together, everybody. There is only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key.
And that is?
And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself.
Are you saying that this lawyer is the Great Thief Yatagarasu?
Ms. Yu. You used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals, why? Why do something like this?
Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than when I sneak into someplace.
You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Callisto, you.
Callisto Yu. That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the Great Thief Yatagarasu.
What? So she's admitting it? What the hell?
Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rell an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rell was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rell caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rell any longer. Plus, if I let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both.
But didn't you say that you despised criminals?
But do I really?
You? Have you forgotten about the KG incident too?
Maybe.
What sort of woman would...
So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent?
Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rell wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. And in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. He never noticed that I changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life.
How could you kill him?
I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death.
But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rell as well.
I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd killed each other.
Then the trick with the surveillance tape.
Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet.
You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you? How could you betray a client?
Client? If you want to talk about who was a client of whose first, it was me.
Huh?
I was the client in the murder of the Cadofian Embassy staff member, Deed Man.
You ordered a hit job?
You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad? I had Deed Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination?
It can't be. You're...
That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring.
What? What the heck is going on here?
So you mean to tell me that the Yatagarasu trying to expose criminal underhand dealings is a member of the smuggling ring? What? Dead man, if you're going for the pun, and the echo somehow made that even better. Holy smokes.
Whoa.
How could this?
You don't mean you're working with Manny Cochin too, do you?
Maybe. Maybe not. Guess you'll never know.
The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer!
That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer.
Be quiet. You.
Yatagarasu! You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it! So just humbly accept the judgment of this court!
Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know? The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. You know why that is?
Huh?
No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work.
Whoa!
Whoa. Oh, she's got a gun.
What the?
You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it.
You mean the key was your real target?
And even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence?
You two, get down.
My body! I can't move!
Hey, mister! To your right!
You!
Get back here, you bitch! Are you all right, Francisca?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine, Miles.
Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot!
Uh-oh. Not good.
Oh, shit!
September 10th, 7 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 3.
Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon.
Detective Bad, are you all right? I heard a gunshot.
I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket.
He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken.
But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Ms. Von Karma, are you two hurt?
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also all right, thanks to Kay.
Speaking of Kay, where is she?
I don't know. She just sort of disappeared.
I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe?
Yes, sir? Detective Bad, sir?
I'm sorry I doubted you.
Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all.
I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective.
Huh?
Now don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay?
You got it, Pops.
Pops? Such fun to meet Detective Thomas recently, have we?
Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment.
I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do.
Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care.
Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday.
Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything.
Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken into prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
Nah, it was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor.
Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyers would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf.
Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective.
Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me.
She did? Oh, what is it?
What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship. The Swiss roll.
Take that! It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it?
Yes. It's a present meant for you, after all.
Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now.
Sure, go ahead. The Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy. It's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him.
Whew. That was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat two of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something.
This guy's making me hungry for Swiss rolls. I'm telling you that right now.
Yep. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait. Where is she?
You only noticed just now? Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him.
Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa.
Do that again. Go back to history.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa.
Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective.
Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well.
I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. Shout out to Turnabout Memories.
Yep.
Or
in retrospect,
not
he's
memories of
happy about
beginnings.
having a $6 treat in one day.
Yeah. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. Turnabout Beginnings. You know that case about the bridge and...
I certainly do.
Wow.
What a wacky case that was.
After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... Here we go.
Present day.
So, do you remember now?
Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while.
Kay, you sure grew up a lot.
Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time?
Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much.
Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're all right.
So, does it all make sense now?
You betcha it does.
Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Hold it! Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay.
Huh?
First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? The Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father.
Huh?
Oh, so you see, Callisto Yu was just another killer, right? So she said she was part of the smuggling ring, right?
You're right.
And what was the Yatagarasu doing? Unearthing corruption. So the Yatagarasu was probably on the tail of the smuggling ring.
Oh.
See, that's what her claim is.
I think it's starting to make sense.
Let's roll it back. Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu?
Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regret in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible!
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now.
All right then. How do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing?
Yup, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father.
Wow. Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He really was a great thief, huh?
Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed. And the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you?
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
Yatagarasu sends card to embassy.
The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card?
Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out.
Right. They wouldn't do that.
But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up, and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
So you're saying that I have your father's and Ms. Yu's identities backwards?
Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Kay,
You're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal.
even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit.
Mr. Edgeworth, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now?
Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu?
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Because she did prevent him from taking a bullet, right?
Yes?
Huh? Owe me for what?
When Ms. Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean...
Yes. That case had been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you.
Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Isn't that great, Kay?
Yeah, it sure is, Gummy.
Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with their chummy relationship? The Great Thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Burn Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the Great Thief Yatagarasu. and the Yatagarasu's real goal, it would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. That's the end of that case.
Holy smokes. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Whew.
Man, I had so much fun today, man. I gotta tell you, that was riveting.
Absolutely. we had another one of those patented what moments. Like I mean, holy smokes. I didn't see that coming.
See? There we go.
So I mean, now there was like, oh, she's the Yatagarasu. No, he is the Yatagarasu. So it's like, okay. So Macrel was right after all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, man, oh man. And
Well,
of course, well, kids, we had an absolute blast today, and we hope that you'll join us next time. We don't know when that is exactly, but we do know. Keep to the Facebook page. Check us out on Twitch. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube. Oh my God, I'm still reeling from the case. And we will let you know when the next installment will be, because the next case is Turnabout Ablaze. And the package, I'm to understand that this is a very packed case, right?
Oh yeah, it's meaty. I mean, meaty.
Yeah, what moment didn't feel as impactful without you two in the same room? That's true. I know that we've had those. Moments before, where we were all in the same room. We were doing it together. But
did anybody say that, or was it just your thought?
That was a YouTuber by the name of Dylos. Dylos.
Oh, I see. I see.
So if you peep the YouTube chat, you'll see him. But yeah, thanks for checking out our stuff. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the archives, and we'll see you again. So until next time, I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers,
and we are for real.
Top guys out. Ciao.
Adios, muchacho.